think of scale armour? Scale armour. What do you think of it? The ones all the keepers wear. Sure, maybe it's easy to make and doesn't restrict movement, but it doesn't provide the best protection. Someone just needs to stab you between the scales and you're done for. Lamellar armour is much better. That will prevent you from being run through with a polearm or getting shot with a bow. It's also much more comfortable. I read a lot about it. In Volume 4 of the Armourer's Almanac, Arden's Shadowblade describes the differences between various types of armour. For example, chainmail allows for a good range of movement, but it's heavy. It also provides poor protection against blunt weapons, and its production is laborious. Shadowblade is a moniker. Arden is passionate about weapons and armour. He has great knowledge of materials, techniques, and history. A true expert. Everything he writes is interesting. I would love to meet him one day. I told them, but they both said I know jack shit. Besides, the keepers rarely go outside the walls nowadays. Then the quartermaster added that if I don't like our equipment, he could send me out scouting in just my underwear. Perhaps you're right. But if somebody ever stabs me under the scales, I'll go straight to the quartermaster and give him an earful. No, but I have knowledge from books and a lot of thoughts on the subject, so I know what it would be like to wear different armour. Oh, of course. I mean, I've never made one. I'm not an armourer. But I've read so much about it that I'm sure it won't be a problem. Here's the page from the Armourer's Almanac that explains the process.
I like it when things are quiet. Not really. Especially since we went into a lockdown a while ago. People used to come and go. Now and then a ship would make a stop at the village below, but nobody's really come around since. Well, since the entire shit show that's going down everywhere. Now that I think of it, you're the first they've let in. What'd you do? Who did you bribe? Oh, so you have friends in Camelot. Good for you. Of course I do. Those pins are peak craftsmanship, and very rare at that. We only gave them out on Camelot's orders. But when I look at you, well, it's pretty obvious you wouldn't be able to beat a knight. And even if you found one already dead, you'd sooner nick his armor than a pin you knew nothing about. Either way, good for you. Oi, friend. You went and made armor based on the Armourer's Almanac, didn't you? I should have warned you. That's a terrible idea. Those books are the biggest load of crap I've ever come across. And I've talked to Rolf when he's had a few too many. Yeah, well, Alar is a fanatical follower of that Shadowblade. He's read a couple of those books, and suddenly he thinks he knows my trade better than I do after 40 years in a forge. He even had the nerve to argue with me. Now, I told him, I can hammer your face just as easily as this steel. Well, that shut him up quick. Arden Shitblade, you mean? Of course I don't respect him. That fool is ruining the reputation of every armorer out there. No one knows who he is or why his nonsense even gets published. But plenty of people would love to get their hands on him. I'd gladly get rid of him myself. Well, if you could find him, knock some sense into his empty head. And, cut off his hands, so he'd never write another book. I would cover you in gold. Thank you. You'll not only make this old smith happy, but the entire guild will be grateful.
Oh, right. The lamellar armour from the Armourer's Almanac. I remember. So how did it turn out? I knew it. If you follow Arden's instructions closely, it's almost impossible to mess it up. I'd love to make my first armour, but I doubt Órlaith would even let me within 3 feet of the anvil. Depends. Why do you ask? Oh, that's my dream too. Would you take my copy of the first volume with you, just in case you meet Shadowblade? Because I know where to find him. The almanac isn't printed by Arden himself, but in Timberwall, based on his manuscripts. In the first editions, they accidentally included not only Arden's name and pen name, but also his place of residence. I paid a good sum to get a copy, but here it is. No problem. I'll lend you this copy. But don't forget to get it signed.
Spare food or coin? Anything else?
How can I help? Oh no. Are you one of those people obsessed with my son? I'm sorry, but we don't accept visitors. Goodbye. I'm sorry, but I don't share any information about Arden. I'd appreciate it if you left him alone. Dangerous? Those almanacs he writes about armor? Are we talking about the same books? Wait, I never thought. I mean, I knew Arden's books were out there, but I always figured they were just collecting dust in some forgotten corner. Who in their right mind would use those to make actual armor? By the gods, he's not an armorer. He's just a boy with his nose in a book. Now that you say it, I suppose I should have known. When those merchants from Timberwall came asking for more of Arden's work, I should have realized something was off. They weren't just interested in making a few copies. Oh, Mother, help me. I let it happen. I just wanted him to feel, I don't know, recognized. I never stopped to think how serious it might all become. That someone would actually try to make armor based on his advice. I should have thought of it then. Should have seen the risk. But no, I just thought it'd be a little bit of coin. A bit of pride for Arden. Now look at the mess I've caused. Go inside. Speak with my son if you want. I'd be grateful if you could try to explain this to him.
My father let you in? He never lets anyone through. I don't get visitors. Ever. You must be important. What could you possibly want with me? Dangerous? How could writing about armorsmithing be dangerous? I don't understand. I'm not telling anyone to go into battle with the things I make. I'm just documenting the process, the way I see it, the way I learn. It's no different than a chronicler writing about wars or knights. Their words don't cause harm. My books, they're meant to show how beautiful armorsmithing is. I love the craft, the intricacies, the details. Why should that be dangerous? But that doesn't make sense. Why would they trust me more than actual armorers? I'm just someone who loves writing about the craft. Why would anyone take my words over the words of someone who's been working metal their whole life? I thought they'd see it for what it is. Just the way I understand things. It's not meant to replace real experience. I'm perplexed. How could anyone think that? But I never said I was a master. Just because my books are printed doesn't make me an expert. I'm clearly still figuring things out. It doesn't make sense to put so much faith in someone who's still learning. They should know better. I hear what you say, but it doesn't seem fair. I didn't want any of this. I didn't ask for people to treat my books like they're the law. I just wanted to share my ideas. If I stop now, then what was the point of everything I've done? That would be practical. If I just say up front that it's not finished, people won't make the mistake of thinking it's expert advice. Yes, that might solve the problem. I can still write what I want, and they'll have no reason to misinterpret it. Please, tell my father to contact my publisher. I'm too busy right now to talk to him, and later I might forget.
So, did you find what you were looking for? He sure is. As skilled as any four-dweller, ambitious as a knight of the Round Table. Only shame is, he can't seem to leave that cursed basement. You can see for yourself, he doesn't handle, well, people too easily. Sometimes I wondered if I did something wrong. The boy never looks anyone in the eye. He only lives for those armors of his, and he'd eat nothing but that cursed fish soup if he could. But his mother, may the All-Mother shine upon her soul, she always said that's what makes him unique, and that it's our duty to love him as he is. So I love him, and I support him with all my heart, but I'd rather not think about what'll happen to him once I'm gone. Arden, in the service of the Horns of the South? I can't see it. Although, if they'd let him have a forge and a mentor without making him fight or bond with others, who knows? That's something to think about. Thank you for caring this much. That could be a solution. Thank you for talking to him. There are days he doesn't say a single word to his own father. I have to slip messages between little facts about armor. It can be exhausting sometimes. Oh, try to be more careful.
Oh, well, that changes things. I still think he shouldn't be writing about something as serious as armor smithing, but if he's just a kid, I guess I can cut him some slack. Does he now? Well, if that's the case, that would explain a lot. I once had an apprentice who also saw the world differently. Never got my jokes, but I liked him a lot. Very focused, talented lad. But the other keepers made fun of him constantly. Morons that they are. And then one day he just vanished. The captain didn't even bother to declare him a deserter. Still, to this day, I wonder what happened to him.